Let's talk about development of eyeball. Development of eyeball, also known as ocular embryogenesis, starts at the 22nd day of gestation. It starts at the 22nd day of gestation. At this time, the embryo has 8 pairs of somites and is around 2 millimeter in length. So, the eyeball will start developing at the 22nd day of gestation. Now the development of eyeball, if I say, it develops from two layers mainly, the ectoderm and the mesoderm. Now the ectoderm involved is further of two types. One is your neuroectoderm and the other one is your surface ectoderm. The neuroectoderm, also known as the neural ectoderm, because it develops from the neural tube, and then comes your surface ectoderm. Fine. So these two are the main layers from which four major structures of the eyeball will be formed, and the remaining structures will be subsequently formed from these four main structures. So what are the four main structures? Let's see them. So the four main structures, first one is your optic vesicle, then comes your lens placard, then comes mesenchyme which is surrounding the optic structure, and then the visceral mesoderm. Fine, so these are the four main structures. Let's see them one by one. Coming to the formation of optic vesicle. So this is very important, and this forms the major proportion of the orbit, or of the eyeball, if I say. Optic vesicle, from where does it form? So just follow my pointer carefully. See, this one, the blue lining is your ectoderm. Now, some part of the ectoderm will thicken to form the neural plate, and this ectoderm, as you can see or as you are familiar with, is known as the neural ectoderm or the neuroectoderm. So neuroectoderm is nothing but it is the ectoderm which is derived from the neural plate. Now this neural plate, on either side, it will develop two thickenings, and these two thickenings, from this the neural ectoderm will depress or invaginate, I should say, and this will form the optic sulcus. And this optic sulcus is nothing but part of the forebrain or the prosencephalon. See, you must get confused with this name. Fine, prosencephalon. So prosencephalon is nothing but your forebrain. So after this optic sulcus, the optic sulcus will convert into the optic vesicle. Now what is this optic vesicle? See, this one is your ectoderm. Fine, this is your neural plate. Let me draw it with a different color. This one is your neural plate. So now what happens? Your neural plate will invaginate, and this is nothing but your forebrain part. And now the invaginated optic sulcus, it will give two lateral outpouchings. Lateral outpouchings, and this is known as your optic vesicle. From the optic sulcus, you will have your optic vesicle. So optic vesicle, in simple words, are lateral outpouchings of the prosencephalon or the forebrain. So now you see the optic vesicle is formed. Now what happens? It will further, what happens? This part will elongate. The part connected with the forebrain will be elongated, known as the optic stalk. It is known as the optic stalk here. Sorry. So this part will be elongated. This thing, it is your optic stalk, and the bulged out part will remaining. It will be known as the optic vesicle, as it is. Fine. So this is your ectoderm. Now this, see, just note this thing, that the optic vesicle is separated from the surface ectoderm. Okay. So this light blue colored structure, now this one, this structure, it is separated here. So this pink color structure is nothing but your surface ectoderm. This surface ectoderm is completely separated from the optic vesicle. So this is how the optic vesicle is separated. If I ask you what is the origin, what is the tissue origin of this optic vesicle, so it is originated from the neuroectoderm. Excellent. So now moving on further. Next, we'll see how the lens placard will be formed. So as I reminded you earlier that the optic vesicle was forming and it was detaching itself from the surface ectoderm. So this thing over here, this is nothing but the ectoderm, surface ectoderm. And the optic vesicle grows laterally. It is growing laterally as a lateral outpouching from the forebrain, and it comes in contact with the surface ectoderm. This blue colored structure, it is the surface ectoderm. And the surface ectoderm, which is in contact or which is in proximity to the optic vesicle, that is your lens placard. That is your what? Lens placard. And this ectoderm is thickened to form the lens ectoderm. This lens ectoderm further, it will sink below the surface. It is sinking to form the lens vesicle. It will form the lens vesicle. So come on, name with me. First is your surface ectoderm. Surface ectoderm near the optic vesicle. It will thicken to form your lens placard. The lens placard will further sink, or it will also invaginate to form the lens vesicle. So now it is soon separated from the surface ectoderm at 33rd day of gestation. And this will form your lens proper. Okay, so this is how your lens is formed. So now what happens? This is your optic vesicle. But do you see any difference in the structure of A and structure of D? Yes, you can see it. You find that now the optic vesicle is no longer a vesicle, but it is enclosing the lens. And this is how your optic cup is formed. See, suppose this is your lens now. This is your lens vesicle. So the optic cup earlier was like this. So it will slowly, it will form the optic cup now, and it will cover the lens. Okay, so that is what our next heading is, that is formation of optic cup. So as I told, the optic vesicle that will cover your this lens and lens vesicle to form a double layered optic cup. This one is a double layered optic cup, and this conversion, it is due to differential growth of the walls of the vesicle. It is not that the lens is invaginating, so the optic vesicle has to cover it, and so it is forming optic cup. No, it is due to mainly, and it is because of itself. The optic vesicle itself is growing. It is having differential growth of the walls to form the optic cup. Now what happens if you closely see this lens? Now this is your lens, this is your optic cup. It will cover the lens, the optic cup, it will cover the lens from the upper and the lateral side. From the upper and the lateral side it will cover. But if I see, it is not covering from the inferior side. In this diagram here, see this thing, the optic cup, it is not covering the lens on the inferior side, and so inferiorly there will be a deficiency, or a deficiency will be there, which will extend from the optic vesicle, and this is what? Optic stalk. Excellent. So this deficiency is known as your choroidal or your fetal fissure. Choroidal fissure or your fetal fissure. It is very important to understand this thing. Fine. So what happens? This choroidal or fetal fissure, it will usually fuse at the 6th or the 7th week of intrauterine life. It will usually fuse. But if it does not fuse, it leads to a condition which is known as coloboma. Coloboma. Fine. So this is a condition where the choroidal or fetal fissure, which usually fuses at the 6th or the 7th week, fine, it usually fuses. So this defect, if it doesn't fuse, it is known as coloboma. And in coloboma of iris, if the defect occurs here on the anterior side now, then it is known as coloboma of the iris. Okay, and in this characteristic appearance, also it is known as keyhole pupil. Keyhole pupil is seen if this thing is your eyeball. This is your eyeball. Okay, and just imagine this is your that corneal part, and this is your pupil. So it will appear like this. Fine. It is known as keyhole pupil, seen in coloboma of iris. It has other names also known as cat eye. Okay, so that was about choroidal or fetal fissure and coloboma. Next thing is changes in the associated mesenchyme. So till now we learned about the structures derived from the ectoderm. Either it be neuroectoderm, from which the optic vesicle is forming, or it be the surface ectoderm, from which the lens is forming. Now we will look at the changes in the associated mesenchyme. Okay, so the developing neural tube from which CNS develop, it is surrounded by mesenchyme. And as you know, meninges, you must be aware of the word meninges. So meninges is nothing but it is formed by condensation of mesenchyme, which is derived from mesoderm. Okay, so mesenchyme will condense to form the meninges in the central nervous system. Similarly, talking about the eye, so in that also this mesenchyme surrounding the optic vesicle. This is your optic cup. Okay, this thing here, it is your optic cup. So this is your mesenchyme. Okay, and this will condense to form your meninges like layer. Two layers will be formed. Outer one is your fibrous layer, outer, so known as superficial, and inner, that is your deeper layer. One in the pink is your deeper layer, which is the deeper vascular layer, and outer one in the purple color, that is your superficial fibrous layer. So now just recall the basic structures of the eyeball in your mind. So the outermost thing, what is the outermost thing if I talk about anteriorly? That is your, excellent, that is your cornea. And cornea will continue posteriorly as your, yeah, sclera. Okay, so these two things are your outermost. Then what comes inside these things? Vascular tissue or your uveal tissue. Parts of uveal tissue: iris, ciliary body, and your choroid. Excellent, super. So that means the outermost structure, I told, the cornea and the sclera, that will be, but obviously that will differentiate, or that will form from the fibrous layer. See, I have written it. Anteriorly it will form the corneal stroma, and posteriorly it will form the sclera and the extraocular muscle. Then coming to the vascular layer, inner to the superficial layer, this pink color structure. Okay, so that will form three things. First is your hyaloid system of vessels. Then comes your iridopupillary membrane, that is your iris and your pupillary membrane. Fine. And last thing is your choroid and ciliary body. Good. So now what is this hyaloid system of vessels? Now see, there is a defect inferiorly. I told choroidal or fetal fissure, right? So this pink colored structure, this vascular structure, through that fissure inferiorly, it will seep into the eyeball. It will seep into the eyeball, and these vessels will enter the eyeball to form the hyaloid vessels, that is your hyaloid artery and your hyaloid vein. And you know, these hyaloid vessels, they will regress at time. With time, the hyaloid vessels will regress. Only the posterior part, I should say, that will persist as your central retinal artery. Okay, so the hyaloid vessels, they will degenerate with time, they will degrade with time. Only the posterior part persist as your central retinal artery. So that was something about the hyaloid vessels. So fibrous layer and the vascular layer. Now the next thing we'll see is, okay, this diagram I needed to explain you. See, this is just a basic recollection of the things we learned till now. So this is your orbit. Fine. This one is your outer layer, one in purple color. Okay. See this one, outer layer, outer superficial fibrous layer. Excellent. So this, if you can just go with me here, anteriorly it will form the cornea, corneal stroma. Remember, mesoderm or the mesenchyme is forming the corneal stroma. Cornea also has epithelium that is not formed from the mesoderm. We learn subsequently. Okay, so anteriorly corneal stroma, and posteriorly it will form your sclera. Very good. Then coming to the inner layer, that is your inner vascular layer, one in the red color. Yeah, that will form anteriorly your iris, then your ciliary body also, and then lastly it will form your choroid. So this was about the different structures of the eyeball overview. Now in the next session we'll be learning about the individual structures, how are they developed. Okay, thank you.